We also have been through some stormy times, when changes come, and basically everyone feel frustrated. How do you explain this to yourself first, then to translate to the team when change comes, when leadership gives you the new vision or new goals? I know that you have your own way of kind of translating it to us, but there definitely should be a groundwork that you are doing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. There is a process and it is a journey there. But first of all, as a leader, you need to really get behind what is the change about? What is the driving force? What is the mission, the vision, whatever it may be? And what are we trying to achieve? Now, you might not know all of it in it when a change is happening, because a lot of it's fleshed out as it is going. But you need to understand enough that you're behind it and believing in it, because there you are that influence, you are that guiding force. And then it's be as transparent as you can. Obviously some things will always be confidential, but do go with being as transparent as you can, as early as you can, to get the teams buy-in so that they can go on that same journey, maybe a little just a stage behind you, of really understanding why, and then understanding when and how and what. And again, the icing on the cake is if you can get their involvement somehow in the change. Somehow we need to find out this in order to make this better. So it is a process and a journey, but it's also respecting everybody's different. Everybody reacts to change in different ways. Everybody needs a different amount of time. Some people jump on board straight away and don't ask too many questions. Some people ask a million questions and always will until the very end, and that's fine. And it's giving that open environment, safe space to do that, and to do that collectively as a group, or individually if they want to, as you move through. And seeing, I think the ultimate goal is, why are we doing this? But seeing it as a positive, most often some kind of opportunity comes out of it at the end. And that's how you really have to try and sell it and view it, and sort of trust in it.
I think some of this really comes from your role as a mother, this acceptance, this will to create a safe space. This is something that some people should learn, but
Yeah.
for me, it seems like it comes naturally from your side, and it was always this respectful approach that we had, and we had a chance to call you, drop a message, some warnings about like we have some fires here, and something that really was very important for me to have this option to talk through my challenges with you openly. And I think that this is the most valuable quality that I got from you, to, so you were open for any discussions, and also for if we are proposing changes, you were, or
Yeah.
any suggestions, you were
Any
open,
ideas are welcome. But
yeah, to this.
I really like the parallel that you're drawing with, becoming a woman leader and being a mother, and using the two, marrying the two, and intertwining those skills, and learning as you go. Because again, as a mother, you don't know, each stage is a new learning curve, each phase of a child's learning and development, and you do have to go with the flow. Yes, you can find out as much information, but sharing with other people, talking, laughing, having fun with it as you go, just as you do in work, with leading through change, setting goals and objectives. They're very similar parallels, which I think is why we have so many good, strong, fully rounded women leaders these days. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. Building these circles, build an environment around yourself and communicate, and speak about what you can bring and maybe what you would like to learn. This is a skill that is built as a muscle through the years.
Yes.
Was it difficult for you to go through transition, becoming a mother, and going into maybe not going, but proceeding with the career at some point. Who helped you along the way?
Yeah, no, and it's all been challenging, but good challenges. And I've always liked to stretch myself, but also know my limitations within that. And I've had a huge amount of support, really, right from the beginning and the inception of those two things colliding and coming together. So I had my product management job, and actually soon got promoted to a European product manager, where I was doing lots of traveling, maybe in different countries per week. And 5 years down the line, I got married and then became pregnant and had my first child. It was at that stage where I really needed to stop and think. Right, I love my career, I love what I've done, but motherhood's incredibly important to me. I want to be the best mother I can be as well. And for me, I don't feel the amount of travel I was doing would enable me, to do that. So I had a very frank and honest conversation, obviously first with my husband as we talked it through, and then with my boss, who actually at that time was a man. And I said, well, I'm going to lay it at my cards on the table. This is, what I'm doing now. This is what I would really like to be doing to make it all work. I would like to be working 3 days a week, and I would like to be involved as much in marketing type activities. All my, skills, but I can't be traveling 2 times a week. It's not going to fit in. So I told him that, went off on my maternity leave, came back a few months later, thinking I just don't know which way this will go. I've given a few ideas of things that maybe they could think about, and they came back and said, "Well, yeah, actually, Alison, we have managed to carve up this role. It will start at 3 days, but obviously we'll see how that goes. We'll probably want it to expand as you go on, but we need somebody to set up to have an office-based role, set up a marketing communications function, and providing support to the product managers who are out traveling, helping them work on their strategies, create their content and messaging and branding. And we also need a compliance expert, someone to really understand how we, legally and technically can be communicating. Would you be interested? So I believe I was very lucky, actually, because it could have gone either way. But I was lucky that that opportunity was crafted and created so I could come back to work. Um, 3 days a week. My husband was very lucky too. He works for the NHS, the National Health Service. They allowed him to do 4 long days and have 1 day off. So between us, we had my mother's help 1 day a week as well. So my first child, baby, only needed to go to nursery 2 days a week and was looked after family members for other days. So we kind of had this perfect scenario. Really, very lucky.
But I like that you say like you, but it comes so natural, for you. But in reality, everything starts from you being honest with your manager at some point.
Yeah.
Let's put the you and your partner conversation aside, but to keep the opportunity to proceed with your career, you showed up and you were honest about, okay, these are my limitations. First, I think you had a conversation with yourself as well of what I'm actually
What are my
capable of.
limitations?
Yeah, and that's a very smart and at some point, especially on the early stage, and maybe not on early only, you're trying to do everything, to cover everything, never say no, because we're scared of saying no,
Yeah.
not in personal, but in work life specifically, caring too much. At some point, it can be really like a very sensitive situation, but this is impressive to me how honest and bold at this point you were. Becomes different than it was being a woman leader uh, 10, 15 years ago. What has changed 3 years, if it has?
Yeah. Really good question, and I think it has. And I remember being a young manager, having one of my managers say to me, "Give me some feedback. Lots of great feedback, but also, Alice, maybe be less emotional. Maybe be less emotional." And I think that's changed. I think people now appreciate the human touch more. They like to hear now about, well, tell me about yourself, introduce yourself at work and what you do, but they like to hear about people's families. So I've seen a massive change in women have feeling they needed to pretend that they were men in order to fit in, and okay, better not mention the children, better not, better not show that side of me, to now being very comfortable, and actually that's interesting for other people, and men do it too. Men are there showing their emotional side, and a broader picture of ourselves. So I've absolutely, yes, have seen that as a change for the good in the past 15 years. Yeah.